So let's move on to the next slide. In the next slide, we'll talk about our DBMS, relational database. You know, the relational database is, kind of database where we have the relations between tables, where each table is linked with another table on certain conditions. Sometimes, Sean, take an example. You have a data in your database, and your manager asks for a report. So you write a query, you generate a report, and you share with your manager. But sometimes what happens, you need to pull data from different tables. So what you do, you go to each table separately, you extract data, then you combine all data, and then make a report and share with your manager. So what if we use a relational system, we can combine all tables together with the help of certain parameters or certain conditions, and with a single complex query or single query, we can retrieve data from all the tables in a one go. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we have two tables, and we have to extract data from two or more tables at the same time in a one go. So what we do, we apply a relational model concept, I mean a relational database concept. In that model concept, what we do, we connect two or more tables on the basis of certain columns. Let's say we introduce the concept of a key, the primary key and a foreign key. So primary key basically used to retrieve data from a specific table, from that particular table. But sometimes you need data from other table as well. So you need a primary key of that table as a foreign key in your current table, so that you can establish a relation among tables, and you can retrieve data from both the tables at the same time. So data goes to a table, and tables goes to a database, and from database we have many tables which are linked together using different different conditions or different keys. That is called relational database, right? So you have many relations there. If you see the definition of database as per Google dictionary, so database structure to recognize relation between stored items of information. So any database that is capable to recognize relation between the stored items is called a relational database, right?
Yes.
Sean, please be frank and ask questions. If you are not able to understand, please feel free to ask and stop me there. I will revise again.
Okay, no problem.
Right. So relational database is a kind of database where you are able to define the relation among the items you are storing in the table. It could be the same table, it could be two or more tables where you have link up, and you're extracting information with the help of SQL queries or kind of tools available there to extract data. You're combining two or more tables together to extract data, and you can combine with the help of relation. So see RDBMS definition: relational database management. So we know what is relational database in the first slide: the database that deals with the relations among the store items, between the store items, that is called relational database. And to manage this relational database, we need a software package called RDBMS, that is similar to a DBMS. DBMS is used to manage database. RDBMS is used to manage RDBMS database. Do you understand?
Yes.
But let me tell you, Sean, RDBMS is basically is a concept. It's not a kind of you can say is a thing that you can you can easily find it. It's a concept. You have a simple database. When you start making a relation among the tables, that database become RDBMS.
Okay.
Right? You have flat tables, that is database, and when you make relation among tables, it become relational database, and you use the same software for both the purposes. When you use to interact with the flat tables, it's DBMS. When you use the same software for interacting with the relational tables, it becomes a RDBMS. So RDBMS is a kind of software package, you can say, that is used to manage relational tables. And RDBMS is a subset of DBMS. DBMS is a big thing. DBMS is a big thing. You have a Microsoft Access that supports flat database. Also, it supports relational database.
Can you go that back one more time?
What I'm saying is RDBMS is a subset of DBMS. So DBMS is a big thing. And when you interact with the normal flat tables, you have 6 or 4 tables in a database, and when you interact with these tables using a database management software, that is called a DBMS system, right? And when you start making the relation among the tables in the database, then database becomes RDBMS, and the software becomes RDBMS software package.
Okay, good.
So it's the same software. It's the same software. Without relation, it's called DBMS. With relation, it's called RDBMS.
Yes.
So Microsoft Access supports RDBMS concept. You can create relations between tables using Microsoft Access. So Microsoft Access is RDBMS as well as DBMS. Shall we move on, Sean?
Yes, we can move on.
Now we'll talk about defining data needs and types. Sometimes we don't understand that why we need to store data. If your officer asks that why you need to store data, you have plenty of reason to say that why we need to store data, right? So when you start making a database for your organization or for your company or for your office or maybe for your personal use, you will first thing comes to your mind, and why we need a database. Why we need a database, Sean? Can you answer this?
To provide store information on the company or whatever it is that you design in the database for.
Okay. Yes. So that you can retrieve your information, in future, or maybe you need some data, you can easily retrieve it. You need a database. So the purpose should be clear. Without purpose, you cannot create database. You should have some purpose. Sometimes you have a customers to support, and you have to answer their queries. So you need some sort of information to look for, then answer the queries. So you need a database. So for database, first you should identify the purpose of your database. For what purpose you are making this database. It could be database for the finance. It could be a database for the inventory. It could be a database for the grocery items at home. It could be a database for managing the queries of the customers. It could be a database for managing different items in the office. So it could be any type of data. So you have different set of databases. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Right. So once you identify the purpose of your database, you try to gather your data. Then you try to gather your information and organize them, or you can say cluster it. Let's say you have a database ready, but you need to create different tables. I have my company's data, but I don't know how to store it. So what I'll do first, I'll create a database, and in the database, I'll create different entities or call different tables. I have to store information about my customers, so I'll create one customer table. I have to store information about my employees, so I'll create employee table. I have to store information about the transactions that are happening in my office, so I'll create one table for the accounts department. I have to create some sales information, so I create one table for the sales. So you identify different tables, right? That is first identification of different objects about which you will store data. Then you will collect data. Then you will collect data and put in the respective tables. I have a data about finance, so I'll put it in a finance table. I have a data about customers, I'll move it to the customer table. And each customer data is getting stored in a table, right?
Yes, sir.
And in that table, now you identify different columns. Let's say I identify the table, I have to store information about my customers, and then I have to know that what data I have to store about customer name is needed, customer phone number is required, customer email ID is needed. So you have to discuss with your business team, or maybe different experts in the organization, to identify that what sort of information you need from the customer. So you identify those columns or those fields, right? Then
Yes.
yes, once you identify all the columns, then you set certain conditions on data, so that you will make a clean database. You should not have some garbage value or garbage information in your database. So you set certain conditions on the type of data you are storing it. Let's take an example of a phone number. You want customers a mobile number or a cell phone number to be stored. You don't need a landline number, because you have to send a SMS. So if customer type a landline number, your system should be able to tell the customer that this is not the right number, please provide your mobile number. And mobile number starts with 6 or so digits, and it has 10 digits or 7 digits. So you set certain conditions. And similar with the email, email address, you want at the rate symbol to identify it's the email address or something else, right?
Yes.
So once you identified your database, you identified your tables, you have the your data there in the table, then you have certain conditions there. When it comes about how to retrieve this data. Once database is ready, your tables are ready, your data is there, your validations are there. Now points comes, how to retrieve this information. Now when we talk about retrieving of information, you should know that how to retrieve it. For retrieving it, you need a quicker access system, or a kind of key, or you can say a kind of key, or a thing to open a database and retrieve information smoothly. You can retrieve information directly from a table, but for smooth retrieval of data, you need a kind of primary key, or you can say it's a unique key, that is used to identify each row in the table, or each record in the table, or sometimes we say each tuple in the table. Tuple, row, and record, same thing, right? So primary key is used to fetch a record from a table, and primary key is used to uniquely identify each record in the table. Do you understand the concept of primary key?
Yes, sir.
So primary key is nothing but it's a kind of it's a column, it's a special column in your table that is used to identify each record uniquely. Let's take a customer ID. Customer ID is unique for all. Everybody has their own unique ID. So you can use this customer ID column to fetch information about a specific customer, right?
Yes.
And think about situation where you have an automobile company, and you're storing information about a car. You have different parts of the car. You have a car object, you have a car table, you're storing information about car interior, car tires, car stereo system, car seats, and all, everything. But you need to identify that which car I'm talking about. So every car should have a ID. That is the primary key, or a unique identification number. With the help of you can identify, yeah, I'm talking about this Toyota car, or I'm talking about this Nissan car, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting more, or it's okay?
No, it's okay. I'm right here.
All right, but I don't see
I'm,
your friends. If you can also, if you have a number of your other friends, like Mr. Chester, and
uh-huh.
Stephen Campbell, and Telvin Ramadhan.
No problem. Maybe I can contact them.
Yes, these guys are absent in the class. They should also come and join this session to understand, right?
Oh, okay, definitely. After this class, I'll message them and see what happened.
Right. And now, Sean, we'll see the small interface of Microsoft Access here. If you see, it's, and you are familiar with the Microsoft Access system, if I remember.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So it's not a big thing or a new thing here. It's easy to start a Microsoft Access in your Windows environment. You can easily access it, and you can see how things are organized in Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access has a feature to look for different templates to make your database. Sometimes we have a ready-made template available that we can use it, and we can store our information. Like inventory system, you have to make it. You can look for a ready-made template available that you can use. It has already tables in it and different columns there, so you have to just feed your information there to start with. Or you have to start your custom, you can make your custom database.
Okay.
Mostly templates are available. Let's say you have to make a tracking system, event management system, task management system, so you can choose any existing template available in Microsoft Access, and you can install it. Once you install it, you will see all the tables will come automatically, and it has some sample data in it. So you can remove the sample data, you can put your information and use it for your own use.
Yes.
You can also create a blank database, a custom database that we did it before. So the same options is there. You can store your data on a computer, and sometimes you need data to be available anytime, anywhere. You can store it in a different cloud options. That is a Microsoft OneDrive is available. You can store in a Google Drive as well. So wherever you want, you can store your data. And this is how to open this table. There's no need to explain these things. These are the explanatory, self-explanatory things. When you
Definitely. And then
yes,
there's a slide there too.
yes,
I can
yes,
run through the slides
yes,
back.
yes. So let me jump to a different. Just a minute. Let me jump to a quiz part. Just a minute. Uh-huh. Yes. Let me jump to this part. I think it's visible to you now, Sean. Sean.
Sorry. Yes, it is.
So let me start a quiz for you so that you can answer it. So if you see the first question, it says, it is a software package designed to define, manipulate, and retrieve and manage data in a database. So what could be the answer for this?
It's software manager designed to manipulate database management system.
Yes. So we're talking about a software package.
Yeah.
So software package is a database management system. What could be the next for this?
More value. It's record. No. File. Sorry. File is it? No. Sorry. Record.
Yes. So record is a set of different columns. Record means a row in a table, and each row has more than one value for different columns.
Yes.
So record is something called a tuple. It is also called as a row of a table, and it has multiple values. It has more than one value against each column.
Yes.
And now see next question.
Example of a date, grocery list, phone book, attendance, user guide.
Good.
Something is used to uniquely. Primary key.
Very good, Sean. API.
Application. Application program interface. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Is a sub of the database, DBMS. Database, subset of DBMS.
You sure?
No, I'm not that sure. Database, no. RDMS.
Yes. RDBMS is a
Yes.
subset of
Subset.
DB. Yes.
DB
Then you should know probably.
is a file extension for Excel. The first one.
Access.
Sorry, the second, 1, 2, 3, number 3.
Mm.
Yeah. Identify the data type in.
Storing pictures.
Oh, OLE, 1, 2, 3, number 3.
Yes. Yes. If you remember, we will cover it in the next slide.
Okay, it's a single database. The single is automatically into.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a macro. It's a macro. Macro
Yeah.
will automatically, you know. And this is
database the uniquely value of records. The one number 3.
yes, perfect. So that's yes, Sean. So we did 10 questions and we solved all the queries. And because this Zoom session has a 40 minutes limitation, and we have 3 or 4 minutes left in that. So,
okay.
so probably we will continue from the same point, and we will continue with the same slides and same quiz. So time being, you can practice this quiz at home and you can go through the slides again.
Definitely. As soon as I reach home, I'll start it tonight.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time and coming for this lecture and attending this class. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye.